Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I'm glad you made it today. Today I wanted to talk to you about a new bill that was introduced in the House, I think it was February. And the VFW, Veterans of Foreign Wars, put out a little blurb on this, and I wanted to read it to you because it is a fantastic bill, and VFW supports it as well as many of the others, I am sure. So with that, I wanted to read you the headline, kind of dive into it a little bit, and get your feedback. And hey, look, like any of this stuff, when it comes to legislation, many bills do not get anywhere. So if you see one or hear one that you're very interested in or believe in, you need to contact your representative and let them know that you support it. Hit the thumbs up for me, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff helps to circulate this information. So the headline here is Elderly Veterans Care Bill introduced in House. Now, regardless of your age, whether you're a 25-year-old veteran or a 75-year-old veteran, there will be a time that you're going to need some care. And so don't tune out just because it says elderly, right? This is all benefits for us moving down the road. So let me jump into it. So it gives a little kind of synopsis at the beginning here. A bill introduced in the House in February is named for a longtime veterans advocate, and if passed and signed, the Elizabeth Dole Home Care Act would give more support to the caregivers of veterans. So that's fantastic. This little article came out June 9th, which is today. And I just wanted to share it with you. Again, this is from the VFW. So a VFW approved House bill that aims to improve services for aging veterans was introduced in February of 2023. The Elizabeth Dole Home Care Act, HR, again, House of Representatives, HR 542, okay? So HR 542 would give additional support to caregivers and expand access to home and community-based care programs for older veterans. If passed and signed into law, the Elizabeth Dole Home Care Act would require the VA to, and it has 4 bullet points here. So it would require the VA to expand access to non-VA provider expand access to a non-VA provider that would furnish all inclusive care to elderly veterans living in the community. That's pretty big. Update electronic capabilities to assist veterans and caregivers using long-term health care and support services. Also an important piece. 3 is start a pilot program that would address homemaker and health aid services to veterans. The 4th bullet here is give reports and conduct studies on programs that provide medical and health services to elderly veterans in their homes and communities. In a March testimony before the House VA Health Subcommittee, VFW National Legislative Service Associate Director Megan Thomas said that the approval of the Elizabeth Dole Home Care Act legislation that VFW has long advocated for would expand many services for veterans, caregivers, and caregivers. She also said caregivers relieve VA of necessity to place veterans in homes with long-term care. Even though veterans may require assistance with daily activities, being at home offers independence and familiarity, which is essential for veterans in the beginning stages of dementia. And I'll tell you that memory care and skilled nursing are the 2 biggest factors as we age. So, Thomas said, okay, and then this moves on with the quote, this freedom to retain or remain, this freedom to remain in their homes needs to be supported by the VA and services as well as funding while not financially stressing veterans and their families. Agreed. According to the Congressional Budget Office, the CBO, which we all heard a lot about over the last 5 months or so, according to the CBO estimate in March, the implementation of the Elizabeth Dole Care Act would cost about $120 million to implement and increase VA spending by $82 million over the next 10 years. The CBO, again, the Congressional Budget Office, also reported that estimating the number of veterans who would enroll in elderly care program is significantly uncertain. And the bill is named after the former Senator Elizabeth Dole, widow. The former Senator Elizabeth Dole, widow of late former Senator, Majority Leader, and VFW member Bob Dole. Elizabeth Dole has been a longtime advocate for veterans and their caregivers. And again, this is a VFW article that had came out today. So here's the thing. When it comes to healthcare and seeking aid or assistance from the VA or state solutions, for example, I believe all states, and I could be wrong, but I believe all states have veterans' homes. If it's a smaller state with a smaller veteran population, you might only have 1 or 2 veteran homes. If you're a larger state, like let's say Texas or California, you may have 8 or 9 veteran homes strewn throughout the state. These veteran homes are state-run, although they go back to the VA and get kind of like a subsidy from the VA to run the programs. It doesn't cover all of the expense for the state, but it takes the lion's share anyway and makes it possible for the state to function these veteran homes. The veteran homes will do anything from just kind of basic assisted living all the way through to memory care and skilled nursing. What I have seen personally is, and this is where part of this problem is, and the quote here was that the CBO office reported that estimating the number of veterans who would enroll in elderly care in an elderly care program is a significant uncertainty. So they don't know how many people would. And here's the problem. And again, this is what I've seen on a personal level, and just kind of the different lines of work that I've had. Veteran A or spouse A or dependent A or whatever, right? Somebody comes in to an office and says, hey, I need some sort of support, care, whatever. I need to go into a kind of like a nursing home, right? Or the spouse is saying the veteran needs to go into a nursing care type of a facility to provide the right types of care. Or it's a child, right? My dad, my mom, whoever, the veteran, we can't, help anymore. We're doing all we can. We need to find another solution. What about these veteran homes? Then what happens is, if they needed, say, skilled nursing and memory care combined, they're potentially seeing a 3 to 5 year wait period. So the person on the other side of the desk says, hey, I'm glad you're here. That's awesome. Let's get you, signed up and we'll get you on the waiting list. And then it's waiting list. Well, how long's the waiting list? Well, it could be 3 to 5 years depending on the location you want to go to, which home's suitable, whatever. And the family just kind of throws their hands up. The veteran throws their hands up and says, you know what, screw it. We'll figure out something else. And they leave. So what happens is they do not apply to be placed into a veteran home. Or apply to get any sort of this sort of care. And then what happens is that application for care is not ever recorded because they never filed it. So then the need is not there. It's not reflecting anywhere. And the true wait time isn't really visualized either. Because if everybody, stick with me, right? Imagine if you had 100 people come in and ask about skilled nursing and memory care. And then those 100 people are all told 3 to 5 year wait period. How many do you think say screw it and leave? Like, I needed this 2 years ago, not 5 years from now. So let's say, we'll be generous and say 60% throw their hands up, go figure it out. They never file an application. So now you only have 40 veterans who actually filed an application for this stuff. And that's that 40%, those 40 veterans are creating this 3 to 5 year backlog. When really, imagine if all 100 filed an application, how long would the backlog then be, right? So with that, I'll go ahead and conclude it out here. The big thing here is that this is something that needs to happen. And, I don't know if this is the right way. All I'm saying is that getting care, whether it's in-home support or veteran homes or whatever it is, for long-term type healthcare, skilled nursing, memory care, those types of things, is something that really needs to be addressed today, because it's not going to get any better as our aging veteran population continues to age, right? And I'm on the tail of that a little bit. I mean, I'm on the older side now compared to a lot of veterans. So it's something that we need to be aware of, and we can't just think, well, I don't need it today, because when you do need it, you're going to have that 5 to 7 year type of a wait period, and that is not going to be good for you or your family. So we need to address it today, not just for those that need it today, but for those that are going to need it tomorrow. So with that, we'll go ahead and end it. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.